Welcome to NRL 360 Rugby League from every angle. It was the game of the season last year, and this Saturday, only on Fox League, the Raiders and Panthers return to Mudgee as Ricky's men pray for another miracle.
16 all. Penrith have played 3 Golden Point games already this year. I tell you what, if they wanted a field goal shot now, they're right in front of the sticks. Coyote waits, shot, pulls it left.
Nathan Cleary should get a shot at the end of this set.
Cleary is in a 2-point position. Cleary's kick is not high enough. This time it's Fogarty coming up. Here it goes. Fogarty drags it to the left. Say goodnight to Golden Point again. Cleary in position. 37 metres out. Right in front. This time off the post. Off the post. My goodness! Canberra come back with a ball! And Strange! He is away for the Raiders! Support in Wakes! That is the most remarkable rugby league moment! In the most remarkable rugby league season! In the most remarkable sport that is played on this planet!
Joining me, the great Gordon Tallis. That's been the journos in Brent Reid and Michael Carianis. And what a game this was last year.
Absolute belter, Braith. Great memory of last year, and obviously a great win by Canberra. And they need another win this week, the Raiders.
Yeah, huge game last year. Obviously gave the Raiders that push towards the minor premiership, or but still the minor premiership, and they need a victory just as desperately this weekend.
Yeah. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, I reckon that's confidence.
Ethan Strange was on fire last year.
Absolutely.
Left foot step, left edge.
Cleary. Nathan, I think he missed 2 that night. This one hits the upright, but I think that night Canberra probably believed that they were one of the heavyweights in the competition, and they got another chance this weekend.
They are flying again.
Yeah.
How do we see their finals chances? They're alive.
Well, I think they're well and truly alive, Braith. I think them and the Bulldogs are flying at the moment, playing really good footy, and Canberra's just got all their troops back at the right time. Well, in time to give themselves a run at the finals. And, you know, this is a crucial game for them. As we said, if they win this weekend, it really puts some wind in their sails.
Yeah, Ethan Sanders has been outstanding for them, hasn't he? Owen Paddy has really added a dimension at dummy half as well. So that combination is growing. They're a real chance on Saturday.
For both teams. I mean, Raiders are flying, but need to win almost every game to make the finals. And the Panthers a little bit shaky, so they want to find some form heading into the back end of the year.
Yeah, Penrith the last 4 games 50-50. I think they've lost 2, won 2. So you think that they'd want to get back in that winning circle and start their run and get some confidence back before the final. So I think it's a big game for both clubs.
We've probably neglected the fact, because we have got so high expectations of the Penrith Panthers. Last week, they didn't have their fullback and they didn't have their regular number 9. I know Mitch Kenny's been missing for a while, but you take a 1 and 9 out of any side, that's going to hurt, and we saw it last week.
Yeah, I think that's natural because they've been so good, not good, great for so long. We're probably a bit harsh on them, and that comes with the territory when you're one of the best teams ever to play in our competition. So, yeah, it's a tough one for the Panthers, but I've still got them clear favourites to win the comp. Big decision though, ready to drop Talagi.
It's a huge decision, Braith, because he's been so good for them over the past couple of years. But defensively, I was looking at the stats today. I think only Ezra Mam as a 5'8" has missed more tackles than Blaze Talagi this season. We did a yarn earlier in the year on the blueprint to beat Penrith, and one of the ways to beat them was to attack that left edge defence, and that's been a real Achilles heel for them at times this season. So I think he'll be back in the side before by the time the finals
just go back,
around.
freshen up, get some confidence.
But they've just got to reinforce that side of the field at the moment. Because
are you confident Mick will be back in before finals time?
I'm not certain as Reedy is, because you look through, when they won the 4 comps in a row, they had no weaknesses. There wasn't an area of the field where you could target, but when you throw Blaze in defensively, that became a spot for attacking sides. It was obvious that left edge was their one weakness. So if Jack Cogger, who's a steady hand, right? We know Blaze has a lot more flair than Jack Cogger, but Jack Cogger is a steady hand, good defender. If he can do a job and they go and win some games, I'm not so sure that we will see Blaze back.
It's hard to change winning formulas, combinations. If Cogger does a job like you said, it's going to be hard to bring Blaze back in. When do you think they need to make a call on this heading into the finals? Like, is it just week by week, or...?
I reckon it goes on form. Yeah. I reckon it goes... If the young kid Cogger comes in and he plays great, he keeps the spot. Yeah. But if Blaze goes back, fixes up his mistakes, doesn't make any tackles, gets a bit of confidence, and he's playing. And sometimes when you go back to second grade, and that's what used to happen in my area, like you'd go back there just to get a bit of freedom outside the spotlight and realise why you're playing the game and why you love it so much.
Yeah, I think that's what they've put him back there for, is to set it alight, get that confidence, get that spring in your step. And they would give him definite targets and goals this week. You know, he's been missing a lot of the inside shoulder and his reads have been poor. So they'll be keeping an eye on his movements in D, I would imagine, and also in attack. But he'd have to hit those assignments for him to be any chance of coming back in, especially if Penrith go on and win. Now, there's been a lot of talk around Penrith and how many players they've got off contract, and you've got Isaiah Yeo, you've got Nathan Cleary, the two standouts. But Penrith, did they meet with Isaiah Yeo today?
Yeah, I think there was some talks with his management today, Braith. I mean, I think they're still really confident they'll keep Isaiah Yeo and get a deal done with him down the track. I'm not sure they got any closer today, but those talks continue, and he's a real priority for them. And as I said, they're very confident they'll get a deal done, not just with him, but also with Nathan Cleary and a lot of those guys who are coming off contract. Blaze Talangi's interesting, one of those guys. On November 1, he's up for grabs.
Okay. That is interesting, given that they've dropped him at the moment. He could be the fall guy, actually, when you now come to think of it.
Well, I mean, he's a guy I think clubs would have a lash at, right? Parramatta's an obvious one. He used to play there, and they probably need a long-term six.
And we know they can't keep everyone.
No, they know that as well, Braith. And their priorities at the moment, as I've said, are they want to get Isaiah Yeo done, they want to get Nathan Cleary done, they want to get Liam Martin done. And those guys are going to take a little bit of time. Toto, look, I'm not sure where the Toto situation's at, Braith. I haven't asked the question.
He'd be the most likely to leave. If you sit down and break it all down, I feel like he would be the most likely to get squeezed out.
So Martin, Yeo and Cleary are the three favourites.
Isaiah Papali'i is the other one I think they'd love to get done as well.
I think Toto's interesting, right, because talks were delayed because there were some management issues with him. I think he's resolved them now. I think he's stayed with his manager, so they can fast-track that now.
Blaze Talangi, drop for the Panthers, your mighty Panthers. Thoughts on this, Gowie?
But I think it's just a bit of a reset for him. You know, like he's played less than 50 games and he's been struggling, in defence. I found like he's making some wrong decisions there. I don't know if the communications from the inside to outside is where it needs to be, but even some of his pass options of late, his 50-50 plays that he's trying to come up with a big play instead of just being consistent and just taking the ball. So,
what are his chances of coming back, do you think?
Depends on what Jack Cocker does. Depends if he comes on and does the job and defends really well, and they play well, Ivan will stick there.
Look, I think they're a better team with Blaze. Like I reckon the Panthers' ceiling is higher when Blaze is at his best. I reckon this is just a pure defensive decision. Go back, work on your defence, and then come.
Just on that, what would they? You being a coach, Bordy, what would they say to Blaze this week, and what would his role be in reserve grade?
I reckon, I just touched on it there. For me, looking in, I don't know, I'm not in there, but for me, I think it's just a pure defensively decision. So, he'll have some stuff there that he needs to work on, some clear goals that he needs to go back for Ivan to go and see, to be confident enough, 2 weeks out from the finals, depending on how Jack Cocker goes or how Penrith are travelling. They need to set their team, I reckon, going into the finals 2 weeks out. And if he can go back and nail some of those things, I've got no doubt that Blaze will be back in that team.